All right, nerds. Oh, been trying to get this going for like 4 days now, so it's late. We are in the middle of things, and I just had to get it done. So here we are, getting some news out, getting another episode going. It is after midnight. It is almost 1 a.m. So I can't say that we're gonna get to everything I wanted to get to today. But before we get to anything, let's talk about the things we got to talk about. Go check out the merch store. You can get your music nerd shirt. Not wearing mine today because it's dirty and it needs to be washed. However, they are available on the store link down in the description. Also, if you are so inclined, the channel partner for Generally Nerdy is DUBBY. The people over at DUBBY do wonderful things with caffeine, and it is just delightful once you get it into your very system. Check out the s'mores would be my personal favorite, alongside the tiger's blood and the push and punch and Calio Dream. Like, all of the things are so yummy. So go check out Dubby. Use code Generally Nerdy at checkout. Dubby.gg is the website. Generally Nerdy gets you 10% off your entire purchase and gives me a little bit of a kickback, and Dubby gets to sell some merch. So good deals had all around. That is the obligatory bits. Let's get to the news because I'm starting to get tired because it's 1 a.m. So, first up on the list, this is a real quick one. We might have already gone over this. I can't remember. It's been almost 2 weeks, or over 2 weeks rather, since we did an episode. Sorry about that. New job is a little nuts. I'm working 60-hour weeks, so that's why there hasn't been any action over on the Clips channel as well. But we have Aaron Paul getting cast for season 3 of Fallout on Prime. Nothing really super crazy here, just super interested to see what Aaron Paul is going to be playing in Fallout. That's all we got on that one. Nothing crazy. The next one is a comic book piece that is also a couple weeks old at this point, but still worth talking about because it's multi-layered nerdness, because it's Kevin Smith writing a new Hulk and Spider-Man team-up called Fire and Brimstone. Right in time, the article goes to say, right in time for Spider-Man Brand New Day, Marvel Comics is pairing Spider-Man and the Hulk for a new 5-issue limited series from Kevin Smith, Andy McElfresh, and R.B. Silva. So hopefully the other two people involved are going to keep Mr. Smith on task, because, he notoriously doesn't want to finish writing books that he starts. I'm looking at you, Daredevil. Spider-Man Hulk of Fire and Brimstone launches in August. I can read. And centers on what Marvel is calling the exorcism of Bruce Banner. The series brings Peter Parker, Bruce Banner together for a story packed with action, jokes, Marvel guest stars, and pop culture references, with Daredevil also playing a role. Oh, that's interesting. A little callback to, Kevin Smith's early work with Marvel, right? Spider-Man Hulk Fire and Brimstone begins with Easter Mass in Central Park getting interrupted by Mole Man and a group of man-themed supervillains. Peter Parker suits up as Spider-Man to stop the chaos, but things get bigger once the Incredible Hulk arrives. From there, Spider-Man teams up with Matt Murdock, learns Bruce Banner wants to solve his Hulk problem for good. His plan involves the Church and an exorcism of the Hulk. Marvel is pitching the series as an ultra-accessible story with plenty of puns, non-stop action, and the kind of humor fans expect from Kevin Smith. So he's gonna have dick and fart jokes like he did when he wrote Batman for a half a second. Which, I don't know, with Spider-Man maybe makes a little bit more sense. Deadpool for sure. I would actually really be interested to see what Kevin Smith would contribute to the Deadpool lore. The article goes on. Kevin Smith is co-writing the series with Andy McElfresh, known for The Tonight Show, R.B. Silva, excuse me, whose Marvel work includes One World Under Doom, handles art and cover for the first issue. Smith said the book puts two of Marvel's best-known scientists into a spiritual story. I've played with Peter Parker and swung with Spider-Man before, but this is the first time I'm having Hulk issues. Smith told Marvel.com, Andy and I are dropping two of Marvel's most well-known scientists in the spiritual story of biblical proportions as we exorcise the Incredible Hulk, and I'm not talking CrossFit. Oh, that's a really bad pun there, Kev. Smith has a long history with Marvel, including his past work Daredevil and Spider-Man Black Cat, The Evil That Men Do. Yeah, all right. So that's pretty dope. I like that. But here's our first big one from the thumbnail tease. We have Arrowverse getting rumored to be coming back. Because, you know, if the Snyderverse wasn't enough, now we have the Arrowverse also in the rumor mill, which I don't think either of the two, Arrowverse is the least likely, but I don't think either of them are actually coming back, and we've talked about this ad nauseum at this point. But the story reads, Stephen Amell could be toying with the idea of returning as Green Arrow, and Kate Cassidy is now saying she hopes there's a way back into the Arrow universe. The timing is interesting, especially after the official Arrow Facebook page sparked speculation back in November when it posted an image of Amell as Oliver Queen with the caption, "Back with a Vengeance." At the same time, Flash CW Facebook page also posted, "You can't let the threat of losing tomorrow keep you from making the most of today." Those posts hit just a week later after I revealed, I being the writer of the article, the Snyderverse is fully back in play with Paramount buying Warner Bros. Discovery, backed up by Kevin Smith. Again, Kevin Smith is not an industry insider. He's maybe closer to the industry than the rest of us, but that does not mean people tell him things explicitly that we don't already know. So him hearing things, there's a little bit of credibility there, but by and large, he's not the kind of person that they just give information to. And with Zack Snyder returning to Instagram with the DC EU images. Now, Amell and Cassidy are adding more fuel to the fire, which allows Zack Snyder's recent Batman and Superman teases and his most, which follows rather Snyder's recent Batman and Superman teases and his post from Paramount lot. Stephen Amell jokes about Green Arrow return. Amell posted a funny video where his son keeps calling him the Pink Arrow. That is pretty funny. Amell, using his Oliver Queen style gruff voice, repeatedly corrects him. "I'm the Green Arrow," Amell says, for his son to keep calling him Pink Arrow. Amell captioned the video, "If I ever come back, it'll be to spite my 4-year-old son." That's pretty hilarious. Arrow ended in 2020, but Amell has never fully disappeared from the DC conversation. He returned to the Flash final season, and fans still view Oliver Queen as the character who launched the entire Arrowverse. Sure, okay. Next day, Cassidy also addressed the possibility of returning, who played Laurel Lance, Black Canary, and Black Siren. Across the Arrowverse told CBM she hopes there's still a future for the franchise. That's not her saying she's coming back. That's just her saying that she would like to. Let's not conflate this information here, guys. It's also worth remembering the Arrowverse already connected directly to Zack Snyder's DCU. During Crisis on Infinite Earths, Ezra Miller appeared as the Flash alongside Grant Gustin's Barry Allen. The scene made the Arrowverse and the DCU part of the same larger multiverse, but that's already a thing. That's again, we're grasping at straws here, guys. Come on now. So yeah, that's our big buzz around the Arrowverse. We're gonna skip that one. We're gonna go here real quick. We have Doctor Who Christmas Special, another rumor. This time a negative rumor in that it might not actually happen. Rumors claim the Doctor Who Christmas Special could be in trouble, with the BBC reportedly struggling to find a new actor to take over the TARDIS after Ncuti Gatwa, sorry, I can never say his last name, after his exit. The report comes after Disney Plus dropped the big-budget partnership with the BBC, leaving the sci-fi series in limbo following Gatwa's 2-season run. According to The Sun, the planned 2026 Doctor Who Christmas special is now hanging in the balance because BBC bosses have not locked down a new Doctor. The outlet claims BBC has been trying to... I thought this was a little bit more rumor. This is a little bit more solid than I thought because the BBC is reporting it. So, if there's anyone that's going to be reporting something of this magnitude that would make sense, would be the BBC. Outlet claims BBC has been trying to find an actor. Oh, I'm sorry, The Sun, rather. That's less reputable. Why did I... whatever. I'm tired. Leave me alone. Trying to find an actor to take on the role of 16th Time Lord, but the part is no longer seen as an easy career win it once was, because they have run it into the ground. Source told the outlet that despite reassurances Doctor Who would return with a new series, there has been no confirmation from execs about when that will happen. The Insider also said BBC had proudly announced the Doctor will return in this year's Christmas special, but with less than 7 months to go, that now appears uncertain. Yeah, that's not a lot of time to film and edit and do all the things, right? The report claims BBC is having trouble finding anyone willing to take the Doctor role after the backlash from the most recent era. The problem is that they have found it difficult to find anyone who will take the part of the 16th Time Lord, partly because it now feels like the role comes with all the baggage of the most recent series, the source said. Daily Mail also picked up the report and described the once coveted Doctor Who role as a, quote, poisoned chalice, unquote. I can't say that they are incorrect. Timing is not great for the BBC. Ncuti Gatwa's run ended the Doctor regeneration into Billie Piper, who previously played Rose Tyler. However, Piper is not believed to be taking over the role permanently. Maybe they could convince her to do it just for the one Christmas special, right? And then, yeah, the rest of this is just pure speculation. Sure. Interesting. You know, that we might not get a Christmas special this year, but nothing too out of the world. All right, let's go to another big one because I'm fading fast here, guys. Let's talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. This has been in the rumor mill. If you've been following the Generally Nerdy X feed, then you've seen some of this stuff being reported there. But Spider-Man Brand New Day, Hulk figure spoils return. But what about She-Hulk? New Spider-Man Brand New Day action figure description appears to spoil the return of the Hulk, and it raises big questions about what Marvel is doing with Bruce Banner after Avengers Endgame. The description says Bruce Banner uses an inhibitor to keep himself in human form since the events of Endgame, but the wording skips over She-Hulk, where Banner already used the inhibitor, had it break, returned as Smart Hulk, and introduced his son Scar. So is Marvel ignoring She-Hulk? Spoilers apparently below. Hulk returns in feral form. We know this already. We've seen the trailer at this point, I think, has given us at least a little hint of that. Description tied to the Spider-Man Brand New Day Hulk figure says, quote, in Spider-Man Brand New Day, Bruce Banner uses an inhibitor to keep him in human form since the events of Endgame. But this constraint has its limits. The film marks the return of Hulk in the feral form, departure from the smart Hulk of previous films. Banner and Peter Parker, both grappling with an uncontrollable transformation, find themselves in narrative peril at the heart of the film. Per previous reports and rumors, Marvel appears to be bringing back the more savage version of Hulk, which fans have wanted to see again for years. That is absolutely true, because Smart Hulk was dumb. Description also suggests Bruce Banner and Peter Parker will mirror each other, with both dealing with transformations they cannot fully control, which was teased in the trailer. Yes, I think that's brilliant as well. Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer already showed Mark Ruffalo back as Banner wearing what looks like the inhibitor, so the toy description lines up with what Marvel's tease. That right there seems to be the inhibitor, yes. She-Hulk already addressed Banner using an inhibitor. In the first episode, the device breaks after Banner and Jennifer Walters crash. Banner later appears as Smart Hulk again, and by the end of the series, he introduces his son Scar, who has not been seen since. Now, Spider-Man Brand New Day appears to be saying Banner has been using the inhibitor since Endgame. Why would Banner... Oh, that's... Okay, so I was trying to figure out exactly why they were inferring that She-Hulk was getting skipped over. But now that different wording makes a little bit of sense. If he's been wearing it since Endgame, that means it didn't break, right? That means that the events of the She-Hulk series did not happen. So, that would lend one to think, yes, maybe... there isn't an actual She-Hulk in the canon anymore. That's funny. Marvel could explain it in the movie, but right now it looks like Brand New Day may be smoothing over She-Hulk and resetting Banner closer to where general audiences last remember him from Endgame, as they never watched She-Hulk on Disney+. That is true. Marvel may be moving past parts of Phase 4. This also fits with the rumors that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios may be ignoring or downplaying certain post-Endgame movies and Disney Plus shows. She-Hulk is not the only example. The Eternals have been missing in action, despite the movie ending with major unresolved threads. Giant Celestial in the Ocean was finally addressed in Brave New World, but the characters themselves have not returned in any meaningful way. Marvel built a lot after Endgame, but not all of it stuck with audiences. Now with Avengers Doomsday on the way, the studio may be trying to refocus the MCU around characters and storylines fans actually care about. Yes, that seems to be tracking by a lot. Endgame is back in the spotlight. Yeah, we already know about all the Endgame stuff. We've talked about it. So, interesting that this theoretically is more evidence that they are shying away from some of the post-Endgame stuff. So, our last big piece for this, and then we'll talk a little bit about Spider-Man Noir, because I just watched the first 2 episodes, because I was only trying to watch 1 episode, but then I had technical issues as per usual, but it wasn't with the stream, it was with the thumbnail this time, but whatever. Let's get into this Stan Lee AI situation, because what the hell's going on here? Stan Lee brought back from the dead by AI, and fans aren't having it. That is a picture of Stan Lee and Morgan Freeman chit-chatting while walking up New York Street, it would seem. So, the article reads, AI audio company 11 Labs, valued at $11 billion, announced a partnership with Stan Lee Universe to bring the late Marvel Comics co-creator back to life. Sort of. Through the deal, Stan Lee's AI cloned voice is now available on 11 Labs' iconic marketplace for commercial licensing and the company's 11 Reader app. His likeness has been added to their creative templates, allowing users to generate video and image content featuring him, framed as a digital extension of the beloved cameos he made in Marvel films for decades. Oh, that feels so gross. Also, because of the crazy situation around his hospice care as he was getting towards the end of his life with his daughter, who I'm assuming has some sort of stake in the Stan Lee universe, whoever owns the rights to his likeness. Also, look at the size of that thumb in this image. Good Lord. That's disturbing. It's like another finger, but it's a fat-ass thumb. Anyway, so the fact that very potentially, I don't know the details of the situation and where, I can't remember. I know we reported on it when it was happening, but I do feel like there is some sort of kickback, at the very least, that his daughter is getting from the benefit, from the monetary gain that is associated with this deal. So that feels super, super gross. Like, I'm sure that Stan would not necessarily be opposed to fans doing something minimal to it, but like completely opening it up just as an 11 Labs voice feels like even Stan Lee would not be super cool with that. That's weird. The article continues. 2 Stan Lee-inspired music filters have also been released by the company's AI music generator. The centerpiece is the Stan Lee Book of the Month Club, which will use his AI-generated voice to narrate public domain classics inside the 11 Reader app, starting with Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island in June. Fans have always told us that when they read his comics, they hear the words in Stan's voice, and now thanks to 11 Labs, we can make that a reality, says Chaz Rainey of Stan Lee Universe in the announcement. The reaction from those fans, however, tells a different story. Across X, Reddit, Instagram, and fan forums, the response has been overwhelmingly negative. Words like ghoulish, vile, and disgusting dominate the conversation. Comparisons to Black Mirror are everywhere. The poor man has had his entire legacy exploited. Just let him rest. That is very true. Read one widely shared response on Deadline's coverage. Another fan wrote that they would walk out of any theater showing an AI-generated Stan Lee cameo. On Kotaku, a commenter described the announcement as proof that so long as major creatives are viewed as product above all else, we'll keep seeing corporations putting the dead on assembly lines for profit. Can't say I disagree. For many fans, the outrage isn't just about AI ethics in the abstract. It's personal, because Stan Lee's final years were defined by exploitation. Yes, here we go. Let's talk about this, because this is the part that I am fuzzy on the details. In 2018, just months before his death at age 95, Lee filed a $1 billion lawsuit against POW Entertainment, the company he co-founded in 2001. He accused CEO Shane Duffy and co-founder Gil Champion of conspiring to steal his identity, name, and likeness by brokering a deal with Hong Kong-based Cam Sing International without his informed consent. Lee alleged that the executives took advantage of his grief, his wife Joan had just died, and his macular degeneration, which had left him legally blind since 2015. His complaint claimed he was either tricked into signing documents granting Pow exclusive rights to his likeness, or that his signature was forged entirely. 2 months later, Lee dropped the suit. His statement at the end read, "The whole thing has been confusing to everyone, including myself and the fans." Circumstances around why he dropped it remain murky. His daughter, J.C. Lee, later revived similar claims against Pow in court. But the Pow lawsuit was only one thread in a much darker tapestry. Lee also sued his former business manager, Gerardo Alvarez, for fraud and elder abuse. Okay, maybe it wasn't the daughter. I can't. Oh, this is really confusing the crap out of me right now. According to the complaint, Alvarez drained $1.4 million from Lee's accounts through wire transfers, bought an $850,000 condo with Lee's money, set up a fake charity called Hands of Respect, and in what the lawsuit described as a diabolical and ghoulish scheme, had a nurse draw Lee's blood and used it to stamp comic books that were sold as collectibles in Las Vegas for hundreds of dollars apiece. Lee's complaint stated he never consented to having his blood used as merchandising item. Then there was Kea Morgan, the memorabilia collector who inserted himself into Lee's life as a business manager and advisor. Morgan was arrested on felony charges including theft, embezzlement, false imprisonment of an elder adult, and forgery. Authorities said he pocketed over $262,000 from autograph signings, moved Lee from his home to a Beverly Hills condo where he could exert control over him, and filed a false 9/11 report when 911 report when detectives and social workers showed up for a welfare check. Lee died on November 12th, 2018. He was 95 years old. Uncomfortable irony. It's hard to read the 11 Labs announcement without this history echoing through it. The company that now controls Stan Lee's post-Marvel intellectual property, Stan Lee Universe, is a joint venture involving POW Entertainment. Oh, that feels so gross. Same company Lee accused of trying to steal his identity. The entire announcement is built around licensing Lee's name, voice, and likeness for commercial use, the exact rights he fought to protect in court during the final months of his life. 11 Labs frames its offering carefully. The image templates are for personal, non-commercial use only. The announcement states, but the very next breath it notes that licensed commercial use of his likeness is available through the Stan Lee Universe team via 11 Labs. The voice is available on Iconic Marketplace alongside celebrities who are alive and can consent in real time, like Michael Caine, David Hasselhoff, as well as other deceased figures like Judy Garland and John Wayne. The announcement quotes Rainey saying the partnership is a way of continuing Lee's tradition of meeting fans wherever they were. The question fans are asking is a simpler one. Who gave consent? Stan Lee died before his technology existed in its current form. He never had the opportunity to approve. What is going on? Oh, something died. Please don't kill. Okay, the stream is still active, so we're good. The consent here flows through the corporate entities that control his estate and rights. Entities that, as the legal record shows, Lee himself once accused of acting against his interest. As one fan put it, oh man, it is late. Even in death, he's still being exploited. Excelsior indeed. Oh, that just feels so gross. Man, that sucks. All right, so Sebastian Stan, we're going to do this one real quick. We do see Harvey Dent turn into Two-Face in the Batman, according to Sebastian Stan. I really dig this. I wonder who did it, because that's not good. There we go. That's a better one. Sebastian Stan, Two-Face fan art. That doesn't give credit to who made it. But yeah, in the Matt Reeves, The Batman 2, we get to see Harvey Dent turned into Two-Face. That's a really fun version. Like that's a mixture of the animated Batman and the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight Rises Batman. version of it. That's really I dig it. I think Sebastian Stan's going to be great. So yeah, little bit of that. All right, so let's do the thing and talk about Spider-Man Noir because it's out. You can watch it. The entire series is on Prime. I, again, watched only the first 2 episodes as I was preparing for this evening's episode, or tonight's episode, I guess. And I gotta say, kind of dig it. Like, it's a little slow. There's definitely... They're definitely leaning into the noir side, which is a boon for it. It is something that I am enjoying a whole hell of a lot. Even the opening music, while it's done by a contemporary artist, feels like it fits. I'm gonna have to rewatch the second episode because that one I was doing a little bit more work than watching the show at that point, because I was trying to troubleshoot what the hell was going on with my image editing software. But yeah, this is kind of awesome. You have Nicolas Cage as Ben Reilly, who is Spider-Man Noir, right? He was the voice. This is the kind of the big draw for the series. We have Lamome Morris as Joe Robbie Robertson, who is a freelance journalist who works with Ben. Ben Reilly is a what is the word I'm looking for? Down on his luck investigator. He's a private investigator. There we go. We have Lee Jun Lee as Felicia Hardy, Felicia Cat Hardy even. Femme Fatale nightclub singer, Ben and Flint's love interest. We have Karen Rodriguez as Janet Ruiz, who is Ben's secretary, which is she's a great addition. I really like the dynamic that we have between her and Ben. Abraham Popola as Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, Flint's friend, and a henchman of Silvermane. We have Jack Houston as Flint Marco, who is Sandman. Yes, the Sandman fight in here is pretty dope. Nicolas Cage as an action hero, he's really not that anymore, and they're playing into the idea that he is an aging version of Ben Reilly, so that's pretty awesome. The fact that it's still an engaging fight scene, even though it's not really much of a fight scene, is, speaks volumes to the writing and the direction. Brendan Gleeson is the one that I forgot was cast in this. He plays Silvermane, aka Finbar Finn Byrne. He's the boss with connections to Ben's past. He's been the target of multiple assassination attempts. Just freaking... Brendan Gleeson is always a win. Like, I can't really say that enough. I think Brendan Gleeson, in anything he does, is freaking fantastic. So you've got this cavalcade of just wonderful actors, and they're showing you why they're some of the best, man. Specifically Nicolas Cage. Like, you don't get a whole lot of crazy Nick Cage. You just get, just a taste of it, but all of it makes sense. Everything that you get from Nick Cage in this show feels like it fits. Like, there's no melodrama here, which is one of the things I really hate about Nicolas Cage a lot of times is like, you watch Moonstruck, or is that the name of the movie from the 80s that he did with Cher? I know a lot of people love it, and I know Oscars were won for that movie, but it is melodrama on tap. It is just not a good movie. So watching him in that, and then having kind of that expectation because this is a comic book adaptation, I think I was definitely pleased at the fact that you don't get that from this performance. You don't get the melodrama. He plays it straight, like he did for the voice for the Spider-Man Across the Universe or the Spider-Verse stuff. It's engaging. So very well, could fall off. It seems a little bit like it's kind of one note. So if it doesn't start to pick up in episode 3, because like I said, episode 1 and 2 drag a little bit, but it's kind of world building, so it's a necessary drag. If we don't start to see something a little bit more engaging than just that one Sandman fight, by episode 3 or even maybe even 4, then I can't say that I'm going to be a strong recommend here. But I think either way, it's going to be a moderate recommend at worst, just because it's a lot of fun. Um, you have to, in order to fully appreciate it, because it is a little slow in the beginning, you have to have some sort of appreciation for noir style storytelling, because this is very much a noir. The title does not lie. But yeah, I gotta say, I'm really interested to see like a big confrontation between Gleason and Nick Cage. Like you get a little bit of that in episode 2. Again, I was only kind of half paying attention, so I could be misremembering that, but you're gonna get it in spades because he's the big villain and Nick Cage's Ben Reilly is the big hero, right? So you have to get those two against each other. But yeah, I am definitely stoked to finish the rest of this season. That is honestly where I'm at right now. Um, I there was something else that I've seen. Oh, Hokum. I'll pull that up real quick on the trailers. We got. Come on now. Went and saw Hokum. New horror movie that was disturbing, according to all of the things and the stuff. Not going to talk at length about this one necessarily because I'm still kind of processing it, to be 100% honest. It definitely feels like it's trying to be two different movies. Watching the Jeremy Jahns review of it and how he liked the movie, I think for some of the reasons like he couldn't give it the best recommendation he gives are the same reasons why I can barely give it a recommendation, because it feels like it's trying to be two different movies. It feels like it's trying to be a haunting movie. So like haunted house, in this case, it's a haunted hotel. It feels like it's trying to be that and a witch movie. And really the witch elements feel very much just tacked on. If we had just leaned into the missing persons and the haunting element of this, it would have been far more effective and it would have felt a little less weird. And I get that they were kind of going for a weird atmosphere, but that's not the weird that they pulled off when you watch this. It's really just like confusing weird and not unsettling weird. And I think they were trying for unsettling, but they got confusing. So it was definitely worth a watch. I would wait for streaming though, because I kind of felt like I should have at least waited until it got into the discount theater, right? So, movies 8, man. If you can catch it at something like that, then go for it. There are a couple of legitimately disturbing moments in it. Very, very little of the witch stuff is even kind of disturbing. I think most of that is just a little bit more of the gross out factor than anything. But like legitimately shocking and scary. There are a couple of parts in here that you jump, and it's not like cheap jump scares. It's more like just that right there that they showed right at the end of the trailer. That's exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, so it's worth a watch. I would definitely say, and now it's going to play Spider-Man Noir again. That doesn't make any sense. I would definitely say wait for streaming because it was not great, but it wasn't terrible either. So if you're looking for a unique horror movie, this is probably the only reason you could say this one is even kind of unique is because it is an amalgamation of two different horror movies, but all of the elements involved are not unique really at all. So if you're just looking for something that's a little fun and maybe a little bit of a different flavor or something you're very familiar with, then that would be the mindset to go into this. other things. Oh, and then we have to talk about my concert the other day. Let's see if maybe there's some sort of trailer for it. I will have to actually look that up in the other browser. What is the name of that damn tour? Go to Bands in Town. They are currently on... Oh, what the hell, man. Let's try 200 stab wounds. It was Body Snatcher, 200 stab wounds, and Carnifex. And a couple other bands that I had never heard before. What is the name of the tour? It was supposed to be Thy Art is Murder, headlining, but oh, good lord. Go away. 200 stab, or not 200, there it is, Chaos and Carnage. It was the Chaos and Carnage tour. So let's see. Thy Art is Murder's drummer apparently got sick and needed like emergency surgery, so they had to drop off last second, and Body Snatcher came on the headline spot, which is weird because I'm pretty sure Carnifex sells more records than them, but whatever. Chaos and Carnage tour 2026. There's like a trailer or something for it. 200 stab wounds. Well, there's live video. We're muted, right? We can potentially play this. Mute. Okay. So we'll just play some 200 stab wounds while we talk about it. I don't have the video on here, but if you go to the Twitter feed or go to the Instagram for the Generally Nerdy, then you will see video. I think it's on Facebook and on Threads as well if you care. You'll see video of the Chaos and Carnage tour, and the crowd, like the bands that played, all did fantastic. I can't remember the name of the two openers. It kind of is what it is. They weren't necessarily anything special. 200 stab wounds always kills it. Those dudes are, in spite of their health habits, as we are seeing right here on the screen, they kind of knocked it out of the park. Carnifex always does good job. Ingested was another one of the bands that's on the bill. I was never a big fan of Ingested. This show did not really do much for me to change that. So they were kind of whatever. But then Body Snatcher closed out the night, and it was pretty good. Like, Body Snatcher is technically hardcore, but they're like deathcore adjacent, so like it made a bit of sense. I still feel like Carnifex should have headlined, and like Body Snatcher should have gone after Ingested, but it is honestly, I think 200 stab wounds should have been like much higher up on the bill as well, because I think these guys just shred. So overall, the performances were cool. Also, the venue I was at is this place in Salt Lake called The Complex, where they have two stages. Those two stages, the main stage was effectively what you're seeing here on screen, was about this size, and it was where the touring acts were. So all of the people that were on the actual bill for the show were the ones on the main stage. But then the second stage, they had 5 local acts as well. And those 5 local acts, 2 of them blew me away. The rest of them were kind of whatever. But You have Snuff Tape were the ones that headlined effectively the second stage. Those guys were really good, but it was expected. It was kind of a little bit deathy. There was weird elements of like new metal thrown in there, so that was fairly unique. But still, by and large, it was pretty deathcore, death metal kind of stuff. But then the guitar player from Snuff Tape is the vocalist for another local band called Mummy. And again, if you follow the Instagram, then you know that, I bought merch from those dudes and actively did promotion for them. I mean, not that I went out of my way. I had never heard of them before the show, but I shouted them out on the Instagram because those cats have something original. They have presence on stage. They have a sound that is unique. It's not easily definable into the deathcore genre. It's not easily definable into new metal or whatever subgenre you want to say is super trendy right now. They were just really impressive kids, and I say kids, they were like 25. I think that I heard the guy tell somebody, but they look like they're like 15, so they're still definitely kids, but it was really good. They were really, really good. Like, these kids need to be playing on bills this size regularly. They need to be like the local opener. I think the industry as a whole kind of needs to go back to local openers. It doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to. And if only they would, like, that would be such a boon to... Oh, I have the autoplay on. That's why it's doing it. I forgot I did that. I said go back. I said good day. So yeah, the performances, all of the stage performances were fine. Most of them, I would even say, were fantastic and were a hell of a lot of fun. It was the crowd that I was so disappointed with. I think we've mentioned this before. It's been quite some time since I've talked about the metal scene and like mosh pits. I know I did a video about it years and years ago on the main channel, and it's not going to do it now. That's dumb. About etiquette in the pit and things of that nature. I feel like the scene is just falling apart anymore. And that's really sad because the music itself, like, we are to a point where Body Box was one of the openers. They were all right. But we're to a point now where, like, the production and the quality of music is very, very high. We have really good, heavy music these days, and that's awesome and amazing, and I want to encourage more of that. But we also have... we're losing audio. I'll have to go on my rant about the music industry, or the music scene, I guess, on a different episode, because I'm not going to try and fight with this to get it to work. That stinks. Needless to say, we'll talk about moshing and crowd participation in a future video, but it was not what I was expecting, and it's definitely taken a downhill turn as far as enjoyment goes. So overall, it was a great show. Just the crowd experience left a lot to be desired. So that being said, let's get the hell out of here. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining once again. Don't forget to go check out the merch store so you can get your very own Music Nerd shirt. I actually wore my Music Nerd shirt to the Chaos and Carnage show, the Carnage show. I got quite a few compliments on it. A lot of people thought it was pretty cool. A couple people were confused by the Generally Nerdy logo on the back, which is silly, but a lot of people really dug the Phantom as the ultimate music nerd. So you can too. You can go get yourself one. They are up on the store. Things are legitimately going pretty crazy right now in my recording software, so we're just going to have to kill this. Don't forget also, We have a channel partner in DUBBY. DUBBY.gg is the website. Generally Nerdy is the code at checkout to get your 10% off. Go get yourself some wonderful caffeine drinks, and we will see you next time. Don't forget, always remember that if it's Generally Nerdy, it's probably here, and I gotta go to bed. Okay, bye, nerds.